This video is part 3 in a 3-part series. If you haven't seen parts 1 and 2, I encourage you to go back and watch those parts before watching this part. In part 1, we discussed how plants are pollinated, the 3 major ways of pollination, and we went into further detail about airborne pollination. We also discussed how it's important to know how plants are pollinated if you intend to save your seeds. In part 2, we discussed insect-borne pollination, and here in part 3, we will discuss self-pollinating plants. With self-pollinating plants, cross-pollination is very unlikely. Each plant actually has male and female parts, and as a result it is able to pollinate itself. Because the pollen is not airborne or insect-borne, cross-pollination doesn't happen unless plants that are subject to cross-pollination, such as different strains of a plant, actually are touching or almost touching. And the only precaution that you need to take is to separate the different varieties of similar plants by several rows. Some examples of self-pollinators are beans, chicory, endive, lettuce, peas, and tomatoes. This list, as the previous lists, is not intended to be all-inclusive. However, it does list the most commonly grown garden vegetables that fall into this category. Because the self-pollinators only need to be separated by a few rows, you could actually just rotate the rows. For example, if you had several varieties of beans that you did not want to cross-pollinate and several varieties of tomatoes, you could have a row of beans, then a row of tomatoes, then a row of lettuce, and then back to beans, then back to tomatoes, and back to lettuce, or whichever plants you had. One side note about tomatoes is there is a special procedure that should be followed for saving seeds from tomatoes. I'm not sure if everyone knows that. I'm sure not everyone does, but there is a special procedure, and if anyone watches this video and would like to learn about that procedure, just leave a note in the comments section and we'll try to get a video done showing the procedure. As always, please rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch the video and listen. And if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to post, and we'll see you next time.